Georgia Public Broadcasting presents the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporations, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB.
Live from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, it's the 13-0 Northside Warner Robins Eagles taking on the 11-2 St. Pius Golden Lions in the first of two Quad-A semifinals on the night. Game 4 of 5 this evening, 4 of 10 live this weekend right here on GPB, and the winner moves on to the state championship. And a good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Garner alongside Corey Kessler. And Corey, looking forward to a great matchup tonight. Northside undefeated in here, taking on St. Pius, a team coming off a very emotional win last week in the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. Let me say from the outset, Dave, great to be working with you tonight. It is Friday night. High school football in the state of Georgia is alive and well. All the fans that come out to the Georgia Dome tonight will see an emotional game tonight. St. Pius off the emotional win last week, 1 point in overtime. And then, of course, the Northside team, all unbelievable, have just kind of cruised here. No one has challenged them. We'll see what happens tonight.
Absolutely. Northside, as we take a look at the Eagles, have done a great job, and they've got athletes on both sides of the ball.
They certainly do. Marquez Ivory is an unbelievable player. He'll give you versatile looks, over 1,500 yards passing, 23 touchdowns. What impresses me most about Marquez Ivory is that he bench presses 350 pounds. He is a strong quarterback. He can get the job done, his arm strength. Of course, on the defensive side, Deontay Jordan, he, like Coach Nix told me, they will run to the ball, and when they get there, they will hit you. That guy will be called out a lot tonight. He's the captain of this team, and he is an emotional leader telling his team, you know what? We want to win a state title for the seniors. Let's get it done tonight to get to that state title contest. Of course, there's Coach Nix, Dave.
There you're going to look at Conrad Nix, of course, picking up win number 200 at Northside a couple of weeks ago in round 2 of the state playoffs. Has done a remarkable job in his 20-plus seasons as a head coach there at Northside. All right, Corey, let's turn the tables and talk a little bit about St. Pius. They do a lot of things really well, but two things in particular they do well: run the football and play defense.
Over 3,300 yards rushing this season. They're going to have to rely on that, and they're going to have to rely on a guy by the name of Tyler Fish. He wears number 39. Why? Well, because they call him Larry Zonka. They call him Zonka because he wears number 39, and he's over 1,000 yards rushing, 117 rushes this year. He is a player who plays on both sides of the ball. They'll have to rely on him heavily. He is a solid player. Expect to see him a lot this evening. On the other side of the ball for St. Pius, you're going to hear a lot about that guy right there, Jonathan Davis. Folks, he's just a sophomore. He's got 163 tackles on the season. He's quite a player. You're going to hear Jonathan Davis and Tyler Fish a lot tonight, Dave.
Absolutely. These guys have gotten it done all year long, 8-0 on the road. And, of course, Paul Standard is the head coach, has done a remarkable job. Here's Coach Standard on what we can expect tonight from the Golden Lions.
Well, offensively, we run a wing bone offense, which would include running the inside and outside veer and the midline option. And then the basic wing T plays, the buck sweep, the belly, and the fullback isolation and the trap play. And with some waggle passes thrown in there. Defensively, we're a 4-3, also show some of a 50 front depending on what opponent we're playing, but we're a base out of a 4-3 defense.
So there you have it again. Paul Standard in his 6th season as head coach at St. Pius has done an excellent job. And Corey, I'll tell you what, a battle of two great coaches, two good coaching staffs, and two very well-coached football teams.
Absolutely. Of course, you know, Northside has never won a state title. They have been there. Last year, they lost to Statesboro in an emotional loss by 3 points, a field goal. They want the win. St. Pius wants to prove they belong here, and they're going to get to the next round.
Absolutely. Now, this game tonight may very well be won in the trenches. And for more on that, we throw it down to the other member of our broadcast team tonight, Mr. Phil Proctor. Phil, what's going on?
Okay, Dave, I know that I'm always focusing on the trenches, but you guys have already talked about Northside has one of the best Ds in the state. They're quick, they're fast, they will pound you in the mouth. one of the things they do really, really well is they get off of blocks. My main concern tonight for St. Pius is to make sure that the offensive line can maintain their blocks to give the offense any type of chance. Now, one thing about Pius, they can do a lot of things quickly as well. So both these teams are going to have to probably play minimum, have minimum mistakes, and to be able to come out with a victory tonight. And I know you guys are going to be doing a great job up there. Corey, have a good time, okay?
I certainly will, Phil. Thanks for the advice, boss.
Well, there you go. The first of two Quad A semifinals on the night, just moments away. We'll be back with the kickoff coming up.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Friday Night Lights here inside the Georgia Dome as we get set to rock and roll. The Northside Eagles out of Warner Robins taking on the St. Pius Golden Lions out of right here in Atlanta. Dave Garner, Corey Kessler with you. Phil Proctor on the sideline tonight along with the rest of the GPB broadcast crew. There you get a look, of course, at the Eagles and the Golden Lions in here, of course.
St. Pius won the coin toss. Deferred to the second half.
On the road this year throughout the playoffs, St. Pius won the coin toss. We'll defer to the second half. Corey, looking forward to a great matchup here tonight. And I'll tell you what, we're going to see two explosive offenses. There you get a look at the picture here tonight as far as the Quad A semifinals go. Northside 13-0, St. Pius at 11-2. Then later on tonight, it's a pair of 12-1 teams in Marist and East Paulding squaring off St. Pius, hoping for possibly a Region 6 rematch with Marist there. But East Paulding might be the story of the Dome this weekend. They may have something to say about that as well. So looking forward to it. Of course, the winners of tonight's games move on to the state championship next weekend live right here on GPB. And there you're going to look at Coach Conrad Nix, as we talked about, has been with Northside for over 20 years, has done a remarkable job there. And, of course, likewise for Coach Paul Standard in his 6th season, was a product of St. Pius and certainly has got his guys to buy into what they're doing.
Interesting to note, Dave, Northside has won its last 10 games by 20 points or more. So the opening series, very important for both teams. Can St. Pius kind of smack them in the mouth and say, here, listen, we're here, we're getting to the next round? And what about the stats here, Dave?
And they're going to look at the numbers right there. Again, 205 rushing yards to 283 for St. Pius. Remember, they keep the football on the ground. Not a lot of passing yards either way, but Northside is very effective. And you see the numbers there. Again, looking forward to a great matchup right here. St. Pius in the home blue will kick it away. As you see Northside in the visiting white. Chris Philpott right there in your screen will boot it away. And puts his foot into it. It's a high, deep kick. Merle Armstrong in the end zone, and it's a touchback. It will come out to the 20. Northside again on offense first, averaging 36.7 throughout the regular season. And they are led by a quarterback by the name of Marquez Ivory, who has certainly been the big player offensively throughout the years, done a great job of not only throwing the football, but keeping it on the ground as well. And we'll take a look at those Northside starters in just a moment. They're going to look at Ivory, 94 of 148, over 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns against just 4 picks. And remember, he's just a junior. First down at 10, spread offense out of the shotgun. Ivory looking to throw it deep down the field, has a man there, completed the comeback route up at the 40, and a nice job by Kevin Cooper, who has his first catch of the night.
A great play by Ivory. He had plenty of time. His offensive line getting the job done. He's back, looking for his man, and a great route run, and a nice catch right on the sidelines.
Cooper with 10 receptions now on the year, as not typically the first guy. As you see the offensive line there, Dooley in the middle, Oates and Zunino the guards, Crawford and Bibbins the tackles. The tight end is Brett Moore, Green, Bass, Rodriguez, and Cooper are the wideouts and running backs. Here's a quick give. Taiwan Green brought down from behind. Nice job defensively by that St. Pius defense. And number 2 right there, Jonathan Davis, who we talked about in the pregame.
Yep, it seemed like Davis was aware of the play. He read it well and made the play on the offense.
He's certainly going to be a guy to watch tonight, Corey, on both sides of the ball.
Just a sophomore. That impresses me. A young kid steps right in. And
there's the defense across the front. Cleland, Fish, Sewell, and O'Toole, very talented. The linebackers move around. Davis, Peter Schiller, and Foster. And the secondary, Flint and Farrell at the corners with Burrow and Nyland at the safeties. Here's second down and 9. Quick pitch right there going to Green, but he is hit and stopped again for a minimal gain. And you got to like the way that Coach Jerry Stewart, the defensive coordinator, has his defense for St. Pius ready to go here in the opening minutes.
Aggressive and keying in on the ball, watching and reading the play very well on the pitch there. Watch the pursuit and drives him back. Well done.
Joey Flint in on the hit right there. Had a big punt block last week, as you see his numbers, 47 tackles, 4 picks for the junior. And, of course, that block punt earlier in the playoffs there in round 2 against Pebblebrook was one of the big plays in that game. So a big 3rd down and 6 right here. And Ivory looking to go to the air. Now under pressure. He'll go down at the 43. Jonathan Davis, number 2, getting it done again. And Northside will punt on their opening series.
Once again, back from the shotgun. And Davis fights off his block, and down goes Marquez.
Well, as we were talking about, Corey, again, really the trademark of this year's Golden Lion team has been their defense. They've only allowed 11.5 points a game throughout the season. So 4th down now. The Eagles punt it away. That's Ricardo Negrin, and a fair catch signal back at the 21. Taken by number 22, Matt Pierce.
Interesting that St. Pius came out of the gates and really stopped this powerful Northside offense that can put up some big numbers, Dave.
St. Pius, of course, Corey, was the number 3 seed out of their own region. As you see, Dylan Knight, 32 of 62 for 444 yards. He's actually rushed for more yards than he has thrown, but he can't throw it when need be, although St. Pius hopes they can keep the football on the ground tonight. So here we go, St. Pius opening drive just across their own 21. Receiver wide. They will run the wing tee. They'll run the triple option. There it is right there. Jonathan Davis trying to turn the corner, still on his feet. Finally taken down at the end of that play by Mitchell Bell, the safety, but not before a good gain on 1st down. They're going to look at Bell right there, who has certainly been an impact player, very talented secondary, maybe the heart and soul of that Northside defense. Meanwhile, St. Pius's offensive line is going to be tested tonight, I would say.
Oh, absolutely, because there's different looks here from Dylan. You don't know what he's going to do. He can throw it, he can run it. The team has relied on the run more often than not. Let's see what they do.
2nd and 5, and they give this time. Hit and stop, not much of a gain there. Will Asip with his first carry of the night. Did good to get back to the line of scrimmage right there, and it'll be 3rd down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starters offensively for St. Pius. Again, Gay in the middle with Bray and Roberts at the guards, flanked by Wilson and Cleland, the bigger guys up front at the tackles there. Tyler Fish, who we talked about in the opening, along with Jonathan Davis, Will Asip are the running backs. Evan Farrell, the wide out, with Peter Schiller, the tight end. Again, the starting lineup tonight for the Golden Lions. 3rd down and almost 6 upcoming right here. 3rd and 5, as you see Deontay Jordan peeking into his face mask, and he's intimidating. Quick pitch, Jonathan Davis trying to turn the corner. He won't get there. Stopped at the 25 and driven backwards by a host of Eagles, led by Mitchell Bell.
Great pursuit by Northside. They saw it coming all the way. They read it well. And just Davis looked like he might get outside, but wasn't going to happen because Mitchell Bell was there to bring him down.
Davis only 5'9", 180 pounds, as you mentioned, just a sophomore, Corey, but he's been pretty impressive on the year, but you can't do much when you got 3 or 4 white shirts in front of you.
Absolutely. It looked like the entire defensive line was all over him.
So Chris Philpott will boot it away for St. Pius. Taiwan Green back deep for Northside. Dylan Knight, the quarterback, also the up back. High snap. Uh-oh, it's muffed. Knight will fall on it at the 2. 1st down and goal for the Eagles, going the other way in the first big break of the ball game.
Yeah, it sure was, Dave. It just looked like it slipped through his hands. It may have been a bit high, but it looks like it just slipped through his hands, and he was lucky to fall on it before it went into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for Northside, and, well, 1st and goal for Northside.
And one of the things about St. Pius is they play pretty much mistake-free football, but right there a mistake, and a costly one early on here in this first quarter, has Northside set up nicely. And now that big offensive line will go back to work here again. Oates at 6', 240. Bibbins, the biggest of them all, at 6'3", 268. Ivory under center, full house, gonna give it. Green, right side, bounces off a tackler, touchdown.
Yeah, he fought right over the right tackle. Over 1,000 yards rushing this year. He made it look easy there. Looked like he might get stopped, but he followed his blocker well. Got around the right side, 6-0.
Great story right there, Corey. Of course, Green having to play last year behind Byron Hunter, who was an 1,800-yard rusher. Wore number 39 last year, wearing number 5 this year. Devin Pike adds the PAT. And with 7:13 to go here in the opening period, it's the Northside Eagles 7, St. Pius nothing.
Very important here, Dave, to see exactly how St. Pius responds. You know that it was a mistake. Can they come back?
We'll take a timeout and be right back. It's the Eagles drawing first blood. We're back with more from the Dome in a moment. Well, the weather outside might be a little frightful, but inside it's a lot more delightful for these fans inside the Georgia Dome here tonight. It makes you glad to be indoors on an evening like this. Northside Eagles out of Warner Robins, the #1 team in Quad A, going up 7-0 after a 2-yard touchdown run by Taiwan Green. And they lead St. Pius here. As Scott Thompson, the senior place kicker, gets set to put his foot into it. And Jonathan Davis back deep for the Golden Lions. It's a low line that will be taken by the upback at the 15. Across the 24, and that's Will Asip on the return, who will get up to about the 25. And St. Pius will go back to work. So, Corey, looking back again, Taiwan Green behind that big offensive line. And we were talking to Phil Proctor, of course, earlier. Really felt like this game may be won in the trenches. And right there, one play, short yardage. They did not want to give Northside a short field, especially at their own 2-yard line.
And very important right here, Dave, because as you know, Northside's only giving up 7 points per contest. So right there, it's a tie score if they get in the end zone. We'll see what happens.
Dylan Knight goes back to work. Wing T look, triple option. You got to honor that fullback. And there is Tyler Fish right there, who he didn't call much on that opening drive for St. Pius. But he picks up good yardage on first down, a gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, he really needs to get going. You know, I talked to him earlier, and he told me that the team bus stopped over at Outback Steakhouse to fill up on some energy protein, and he needed it. So hopefully he'll have a good game for St. Pius.
They're going to look at Northside starters. Again, the linebackers, very talented. Wilson, Jordan, and Fields. And also McKenzie, Townsend at the corners with Armstrong and Bell at the safeties. Again, that Eagle defense. 2nd down and 4 right here. And once again, back to the fullback. That is Fish, who dives forward. He will have the first down. Great second effort right there. Armstrong and Bell, the safeties, had to come up and make the stop, but not before the Golden Lions got a first down.
Straight up the gut here, Dave. Watch. He just takes the handoff, looks for the blocker. It's not there, but he makes some nice plays of his own. His coach told me he's the heart and soul of this team.
Well, it's certainly believable with what he's been able to accomplish this year, wearing number 39 like Zonka. That's his nickname. 1st down and 10, receiver up top. That's Asip in motion. And this time, Knight on the quarterback keeper right here. And again, with that triple option, basically as a quarterback, you've got to make that read. If that defensive line comes crashing down there, then you pull it out of the fullback and you keep it, or you hand off. That's why they call it a triple option. You got a couple different things you can do with it.
Absolutely, and more often than not, giving it to Tyler Fish is not a bad idea.
Not bad at all. Well over 1,000 yards on the year as you get a look at Knight's numbers for the season. Rushing, 79, 465, so he's also a very viable option in that triple option offense. 2nd and 6, and back to Fish. A gain of 2 up to the 45 as Anthony Taylor combined with Deontay Jordan for the tackle.
You know, this team rarely makes mistakes. St. Pius is not known for making many mistakes. They don't fumble. They don't turn the ball over. Unfortunately, they did for St. Pius back on the punt attempt, which led to 7 for Northside. But don't expect to see many turnovers from this team.
St. Pius averaging about 31 points throughout the season, 28.3 in their 3 playoff games, all of them, of course, on the road. So despite playing in the Dome, playing away from home is certainly nothing new to this Gold Lion program this year. And Knight will call for a timeout. 4:56 left, opening quarter. Saw something he did not like there against that Northside defense, who shows you a lot of different looks. Defensively, they have been absolutely dominant, allowing just 7.4 points a game throughout the season. Well, it's viewers like you that help make great local programs like these high school football games possible. on Georgia Public Broadcasting. To show your support, simply visit our website at www.gpb.org. It's totally secure, simple to use, and takes just 2 minutes. And once again, thank you for supporting Georgia Public Broadcasting. Always great to see folks become members. Again, member-supported television. And we certainly encourage folks to support what we're doing here, and also in the process, you're supporting high school athletics.
10 games throughout the weekend, Dave, and looks like we got a good one to begin with right here.
And 10 years live on GPB too, by the way. We'll talk about that a little bit throughout the night as well. Had some good ball games early on this afternoon. Looking forward to this one, and of course one more later on tonight, a whole nother slate tomorrow. Third down, and a long three right here. Ball just across the 45 after the timeout for St. Pius. North side with a 50 front option. Jonathan Davis trying to turn the corner. He'll get there. He's got the first down. And that gets the Golden Lion faithful on their feet. Davis able to turn the corner against a very speedy defense.
Absolutely. He turned the corner there, Dave. He's got speed. He runs about a 4.5 40, takes the pitch, and outruns 3 defenders to get the first down. That was a key play.
Bell had to push him out of bounds. We've called Mitchell Bell's number a lot here in this first half, but that's not necessarily a good thing when your safety's having to make that many plays early on. They're going to look at Davis's numbers for the season, just shy of 800, shy of 100 carries, 8-yard average, though, and 8 touchdowns for the sophomore. So into Northside territory, and Davis with his number called again, trying to bounce it outside, but a good open field tackle by who other than Mitchell Bell. Bell, against 6'1", 195 pounds, has a couple of picks on the year.
It was great pursuit once again by the defense. Mitchell Bell read the play. Maybe he felt like they were burned on the last play. He's going to pick it up here and bring Davis down.
Bell and Armstrong, as we talked about, very talented, pretty quick back there in the secondary. And this is a defense that intercepts a lot of passes. So second down and 9 after a gain of a yard. Man in motion, that's Gibson. Knight looking to the air, out in the flat, has a man, just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Tyler Fish.
Oh, how he might be dreaming about that one tonight. It was a wide open field. If he could have hauled it in and kept his balance, he could have gone for a long way.
Kevin Kinsler, the defensive coordinator for Northside, has done a remarkable job with the unit for Northside, as we talked about, allowing just a touchdown on the season, but even better during the playoffs, 4.3. There you get a look at the defensive coordinator there, I believe Jerry Stewart or St. Pius. Those guys have done an excellent job. Of course, Coach Conrad Nix, been with the program over 20 years at Northside. Second year in a row at the Dome. 4th trip since 1999. Here's a 3rd and 9 right here. Knight will work out of the shotgun. Looking down the field. Has a man there. Too tall and knocked away at the 30. Nice job by Evan Farrell, the intended target, to try to keep that ball from getting intercepted right there. But it was the Northside secondary sitting on the play.
Just put a little bit too much on it. He saw his eyes got wide. He saw the receiver out there, and he wanted to hit him, but just a little bit too much for him.
So 4th down right here. And St. Pius showing punt at the Northside 47. Chris Philpott again stands at his 40. Taiwan Green stands at his own 10. 3:52 left, opening quarter. There you see Green. Remember, the last one was a little high. Nothing wrong with that snap. Big rush, but Philpott got it away. Fair catch by Green at the 18. So Northside will go back to work right here. And Corey, I'll tell you what, you talk about this Northside offense. We haven't seen them much so far in this first quarter, other than that 2-yard run there, and of course a 3-and-out on their opening series. But they've averaged over 37 points in the playoffs, and have only allowed 13. It has been a dominating, not only season, but postseason for this Eagle program.
Yeah, they really haven't been challenged in the postseason. Until today, it's only 7-0. Who knows what's going to happen, but they have not been challenged in the playoffs.
Marquez Ivory, man in motion, and will keep it this time. Again, remember, he's close to 240 pounds as a flag comes flying in. And the first penalty of the night. Let's check it out. See if we can see maybe a hold right here. That might be holding on Vashon Oates right there, it looks like.
We have a holding on the offense.
There you get a look at our officials tonight. Bobby Willis, the man under the white hat. Ron Smith, the umpire. Danny Holcomb, the linesman. Billy Mortensen, the line judge. Back judge is Bobby Savage. And the field judge tonight is Mr. Larry Cook of the Albany Football Officials Association.
One thing that Coach Nix told me during this week, Dave, was that they were going to show different looks. St. Pius is going to have to stay honest because they will present different looks to Northside offense.
So after the penalty, it's 1st and 18. 3:37 left, opening quarter. Dave Garner, Corey Kessler with you. Phil Proctor on the sideline tonight. Again out of the shotgun, Green, quick burst of speed. He's got some real estate in the middle of the field and all the way up across the 25. And a gain of 16 as Greg Foster made the tackle in the secondary for St. Pius. But they're going to look at some of that explosiveness that people have been talking about throughout the year from Tywan Green, a guy that was a sophomore last year. Had to play behind Byron Hunter, David Everett, some of those guys that have since graduated. But, you know, as they say, as you see Green's numbers right there, over 1,000 yards, they don't rebuild at Northside, they reload.
And you see the far side of your screen, 14 touchdowns. He's only a junior. He's got speed and quickness. He can get it done.
So 1st and 18 becomes 2nd and short right here. And again, Ivory will work out of the gun. And the handoff, Green reverses his field. Great cut, another great cut into the middle of the field. Flag comes flying in. Green still on his feet at the 40 and all the way down inside the St. Pius 35. Jonathan Davis had to bring him down, but that one might be coming back.
It might be coming back. There might have been a hold here right around the 30-yard line before the play broke loose.
Once again, Bobby Willis, the man under the white hat tonight with the call.
We have holding on the offense.
Big break right there for St. Pius.
It almost looked like St. Pius was going in slow motion, thinking that the play was going to come back because it was a hold. You don't want to preach that if you're a coach, but it certainly looked that way because the runner just kept going. Green, of course.
Well, they've got some talented ones indeed, and when you look at their wideouts, sometimes those guys act as running backs as well, as we see this last play. See if we can pick up the hold right here.
We have holding on the offense.
Right there, right there.
Replay 2nd down.
Bottom of your screen. So it was 1st and 18, then it was 2nd and 2, and now after the holding play, it's a spot foul, 2nd and 7. Watch the shuttle pass here to Nick Bass. They like to pull Bashawn Oates, the big guard there, and flip it to Bass underneath. This time they'll swing it out, and that is Bass across the 25. And he will have a 1st down and a gain of about 8 or 9 yards right there. Nice job, Jonathan Davis, Greg Foster combining for the stop, but a little swing pass there to Bass. And really that's going to be a key for Northside tonight, Corey, is to get number 3 involved.
Absolutely. They are mixing it up, and they're going to keep St. Pius honest, like we said before. They're going to pass, they're going to run, they're going to keep you off balance. That's what they try to do, and obviously they've been successful doing it.
Brandon Jordan, number 19, the junior into the lineup for Northside at wideout. They'll go trips near side. As you see, Bass's numbers on the year, 30 receptions, 413 yards, and some touchdown scoring in there as well. This time, Ivory on the keeper, back into the middle, good cut. Across the 35 to the 37, he'll carry it. And it'll set up 2nd down at about 4. Again, Jonathan Davis in on another stop.
Of course, that's Ivory's decision to make. You know, he can hand the ball off or he can take it himself. And with over 400 yards rushing this year, he's chosen sometimes, not more often than not, to run the ball. And there he picks up a nice gain.
Meanwhile, that St. Pius defense had 7 games this year where they allowed 7 points or less. They have been dominating in their own right. Beat Tucker, beat Southwest DeKalb to make it into the postseason this year. Here's 2nd and short. Oh, Green leaps over a tackler. He's down the sideline. Watch out. It's a foot race.
He's gone.
And Green will win it. Touchdown, Northside.
This time, Dave, it was a great read by your quarterback. He just decided, I'm going to hand this one off. He saw the hole, and Green was gone. Beautiful run and speed. He just outdistanced St. Pius.
It's going to go down as about a 62-yard run right there. And Tywan Green with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st quarter is off to a fast start. Wow, that's explosiveness right there. Devin Pike will look to add the 2nd PAT of the ball game right here. And Northside has come out, and despite a couple of penalties, has been able to put together. That one blocked right there. It looked like one of the Golden Lions got a hand on it, possibly. And so the score will remain 13-0 here with 1:15 to go in the opening quarter.
Taiwan Green with the afterburners. Take another look. The handoff. He splits the defense like Swiss cheese, and he goes up the sidelines for a 65-plus yard touchdown.
And Jerome Bibbins, you might have seen him out there, number 58. Watch him right there. He had gotten a kick-out block there that really sprung that play, and then, of course, Green did the rest. So 2 touchdowns for number 5 as we see it from another angle right here. Kevin Cooper, again, blocking downfield the receiver. You saw that there. He got a hand on him, and you love that out of your receivers. They're blockers first and foremost, and then they're pass receivers. And now we'll take another look at that extra point here.
Looks like it just was a little low, Dave.
Yeah, it's just a line drive. He kicked it into the line there, it looked like. I want to thank Richard, our spotter, for keeping me straight here tonight. As you see the Eagles' last scoring drive there, 4 plays, 82 yards, 2.5 off the clock. And again, the second touchdown of the night for Taiwan Green. Again, the junior having a big night. Scott Thompson boots it away high, fairly short, though. It'll be taken by Asip at the 15. He's got a little bit of a seat there. Watch out, 35, and all the way up to the 40 goes Asip. And St. Pius with good field position here with 1:08 left on the clock here in this first quarter.
Asip read it very well, split it right up the middle, right where they needed to be. 40-yard line, they have to respond. You don't want to be down too much too soon, although St. Pius has come back. We know that. They were down 27-7 last week. They came back to win it 34-33.
St. Pius, as we mentioned, 5-5 last year. Didn't even make the playoffs. What a turnaround for Coach Standard and that Golden Lion team. Straight ahead, 2, maybe 3. And this is a St. Pius offense, Corey, as we talked about. Very ball controlled. They like to run the clock. 3 yards, cloud of dust. They run that wing tee. They'll show you some different looks out of it. It's sort of a wing option type offense. But they've got to be able to control the football. And now that they're already down 13, they can't necessarily get away from their game plan yet. But they've got to keep pushing.
Absolutely. Coach Standard told me we want ball control. We want time management. That's our best chance to win this game.
Looking at the teeth of the Northside defense, throwing it down the field long. Had a man there, but too tall. Joey Flint, the intended target, played nicely by that Northside secondary, and they're a hard team to throw the football on.
They sure are, Dave. And one thing to point out as the game progresses, watch the wind of St. Pius. Are they out of breath? Are they going to get tired? Because a lot of the players play on both sides of the ball.
Right.
Whereas for Northside, they are rotating on offense and defense consistently.
Paul Standard looking on. 8-3 back in 2004. As you see the total yards here, well in favor of Northside, 110-6. And a big third down upcoming right here, 3rd and 8 for that Golden Lion offense. Wing tee look. And Knight going nowhere right there on the keeper, driven backward. Eric Fields, number 34, was one of the first guys there. And Deontay Jordan, number 4, is a man that we'll see fly all over the place tonight. He was also in on that stop.
Yep, his coach tells me they will run to the ball, and when they get there, they will hit you. And Deontay and company did.
And there, look at Mr. Jordan right there, who was really the captain last year on this team as a junior. And time runs out here in quarter number 1. Again, the first 12 minutes in the books and the first of 2 Quad A semifinals on the night. And it's the Northside Eagles 13, St. Pius Golden Lions nothing. We're back with quarter number 2 live from the Georgia Dome when we return. Northside up 13-0 on St. Pius. Let's go downstairs. Phil Proctor, are there any pads popping down there?
Hey, one thing about it, I was talking to Coach Standard this week. I said, now, what would you do at the end of the first quarter to make sure that your team is still on the same page? He said, all week long, we're going to work on having our team recognize the team speed of Northside. Now, watching Northside in this first quarter, those guys got a lot of team speed, but he said he really wanted to make sure that they understood how to make their adjustments based on the team speed. So seeing what we just saw in the first quarter, they're not doing too bad.
Indeed, Phil, we'll check back in with you as well. That's a good point. Again, they've got to be able to make those adjustments, and still early on this ball game. And of course, St. Pius will open quarter number 2 with a punt situation. Chris Philpott will boot it away again. Big rush right there. Nearly got a hand on it. Did Deontay Jordan. Did get that ball out of there. It takes a Golden Lion bounce and will roll out at the 21. So, Corey, what adjustments do St. Pius have to make, especially here defensively, to try to slow that Northside ground game?
I just think they have to have better pursuit to the ball. You know, when their quick backs are getting the ball, they have to have better pursuit, win the battle in the trenches. And Phil knows all about that. He was a tight end at South Carolina. He knows how to play football. He'll have to give him some advice. But that's what I suggest. You got to win the battle in the trenches, and hopefully you have your legs underneath you.
Well, so far it's been Tywan Green running behind that big offensive line. 7 rushes, already 90 yards and 2 touchdowns for the junior. And he will line up the side. Marquez Ivory. He's into the shotgun. Quick give. That's Bass. Trying to turn the corner. Bounces off of a tackler. Dives forward, and the knee will hit at the 28.
And I think they listened, Dave. You know, they got off the ball much better on that play. They came around the end, and it was a nice tackle by the defense.
Can't say enough about Jonathan Davis, number 2 for St. Pius. Has already had a big first half defensively. And, man, I tell you what, the fans are decked out here tonight.
Was that Phil Proctor or Dave Gardner?
I don't know.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, we'll have to get to Phil a little bit of makeup there and a wig to go along with it later on.
I think I'm in for it later in the broadcast.
2nd down and 3 right here. Another 2nd and short situation. Good yardage on 1st down by this Northside offense, and there's Ivory pushing ahead. And, you know, Ivory's almost like another running back in there. He's almost like another offensive lineman. I mean, they list him at 235, 240. He's a big guy to bring down. And you talk about running the football, he's as dangerous as Green and Bass and some of those other guys.
Yeah, he really is. And, of course, this is his first year starting. You know, last year was Jacoby Rodriguez, who's a receiver now. And he took over, Marquise, and playing well, playing very well. He can run the ball like a fullback. He can throw it. He's got a strong arm. So, multi-versatile.
Came in last year primarily, in passing situations, but has really grown a lot this year. Rodriguez, of course, moving to wide out, as you mentioned. And now Ivory to the air. That ball is tipped and then caught. Wow, what a job right there. Nick Bass with great concentration. Kyle Cleland was the man who got a paw on it, number 45, and that ball could have been intercepted as easily as it was caught.
Yeah, it certainly could have, Dave, but that's exactly what St. Pius needs to do. They need to put pressure. They need to make plays, come up with a big play. This was almost the turning point that they may have needed in the first half. But still a nice concentration by Northside, and the drive remains alive.
They're going to look at Cleland right there. St. Pius and Cleland 6'4", 255. Under 10 minutes here, first half. 2nd down and 7.
Looks like an audible, Dave.
And they will do that. Ivory can audible out. And time may have ran out.
A dead ball, delay on offense.
Ivory will audible from time to time, as you see Coach Conrad Nix, and it's certainly been a family affair there as far as coaches.
Dead ball, delay on offense, 2nd down over.
Yeah, back to your point, David. It's certainly a family affair in the Nix family. Patrick Nix, the coordinator at Tech, offensive coordinator at Tech. Bo Nix is the ball boy on his team, and of course Rusty is the stat man on the team as well.
You saw the penalty story there. St. Pius yet to pick up a penalty. 3 on Northside here for 13 in the early going. 2nd and 11. Ivory will go to the air. Deep in the flat, has the man off the fingertips of the intended target. That was Nick Bass, number 3.
You don't expect to see that from Nick Bass. You expect when it hits him in the hands, he's going to come down with it and make the play. Not an easy catch to make, but you still expect that of a player of the caliber of Nick Bass.
We talk a lot about yards after the catch, yak, I guess, with the receivers, and Northside has done an excellent job with guys making short catches and then turning it into big gains.
All part of the different look that they can present a defense. Short drops, short passes. Here's trips right.
Green the lone back. 3rd down and 11. Ivory looking, firing, has a man in the middle of the field off the fingertips of Jacoby Rodriguez, who we were talking about a moment ago was the starting quarterback last year here in the Dome. Has since moved to wide out, and that one went off his fingertips, and we've seen a few balls dropped here in the last series by the Eagles.
Certainly a well-designed play. He was wide open, just couldn't come down with the ball.
Well, it was there, a little bit too tall, but you still got to make that catch.
My dad always told me if it hits you in the hands, you got to come down with
There
it,
you
son.
go.
That's why I'm broadcasting and not playing.
Ricardo Negrin to punt it away for the second time today. Pierce back deep. Big rush, but he gets it away. And a short punt, fair caught at the 37. So good field position right here for St. Pius, and 9:18 to work with here in quarter number 2. They got to get that offense going. Well, again, on our first Friday back in 1997, Georgia Public Broadcasting rated #1 among viewers in all metered public TV stations across the United States. And that is truly remarkable right there. We wanted to throw that at you again, the 10th anniversary that we've been on the air right here, televising high school football live at the Dome, and it's just been a remarkable run. Jonathan Davis with the carry, but going nowhere. He lost 4, maybe 5 yards on that play right there. And I'll tell you what, Deontay Jordan, that Northside defense is fired up.
Yeah, they are. That was a good stop on Davis, just a sophomore. Interesting to note, in the first playoff game this year on the team bus, Jonathan Davis was so nervous he actually let go of his food. He threw up, he got the nerves out, and he promptly went out and rushed for over 100 yards in that game. And, of course, they won that playoff game to go to the second round.
And, of course, that was against Dalton. 31-14, a win there. St. Pius now with 2nd and 14. Give. Asip's got a little bit of room right there and will dive all the way up to the 49. So after a loss of 4, almost 5 yards, Asip gets back across the original line of scrimmage and then some, as Damon Lopez and Eric Fields have to bring him down, but not before a gain of about 10 or 11 yards.
From the shotgun, nice handoff. Asip reading the defense well. Nice cut right there, and then carries 3 guys with him for a nice gain.
You know, Corey, this is not a big St. Pius football team, even up front on the offensive line, so execution really becomes key. And these guys have done it all year long.
Yeah, they have.
Despite being undersized, probably undersized here a little bit tonight against that north side front. They've done it. Here's Knight. Option. Jonathan Davis trying to turn the corners. Taken down. Good open field tackle right there by Keith Townsend, the corner.
This is when you have to wonder, Dave, if the fact that a lot of the St. Pius players are on the field for on both sides of the ball, if it plays a factor, or is Northside just a little quicker off the ball to make these plays. Nice play here.
Great pursuit right there. Bell was also in the area. Townsend, again, has done an excellent job. He and McKenzie have really been tough on the outside defensively this year. So 4th down and 2. Pius showing they're going for it at their own 46. Let's see if they draw him off or if they snap the football here. Asip in motion. They're going to do it. Tyler Fish, now Knight on the keeper. And Knight actually a decoy right there. It went to Fish, and he got the first down.
He waited till the very last second, Dave, before he decided what he wanted to do. It looked like Tyler Fish could have had the first down if he handed off, but Dillon decided to keep the ball. It turned out just as well for St. Pius. First down.
Needed 2, got 3, almost 4 there, as you see it. And a nice job right there. Good blocking in the middle. Again, the offensive line not that big in the middle. 198, 205, 207. There's Tyler Fish, who outweighs 2 or 3 of his offensive linemen, and that's mano-a-mano right there with Mitchell Bell and Eric Fields. And they had a tough time bringing him down. A gain of 8 on first down.
That's why they call him Zonka. He put his head down, he keeps the legs moving, and he doesn't stop.
Listen, yeah, 5'11", 210.
Over 1,000 yards rushing this year. Tyler Fish is a bull. That steak dinner helped him at Outback.
So they're going to look at Knight under center, 2nd and short right here. And I don't believe he's going to get there. Jonathan Davis hit right at the line. Great job defensively by the Eagles.
Big down coming up here. 3rd and short, Dave. And important for St. Pius to put something on the board before they go into halftime. Now about 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
But how gutsy was that, though, by Coach Standard to go for it on 4th and 2 in your own territory? Even if they don't get it here, I would fully expect they'd go for it on 4th down. This is 2 more downs here.
Absolutely, it was. It was a great call. He knew he needed to do something with his team, and they had some momentum. Nice call by Coach Standard.
And you saw Conrad Nix there. There's the 3rd down conversions. 1 of 2, north side, 1 of 3, St. Pius, and the give is straight ahead. And it's really going to depend on the spot right here. Fish straight forward, but not much of a surge right there. And they might bring out the chains right here with 5:36 to go. And it will be a first down without a measurement right there. So St. Pius gets it done up front. And the Golden Lions keep the sticks moving.
That'll give them something to cheer about. Where are they, on the 40-yard line? Want to break it into the red zone if they can.
1st and 10, first trip to the Dome for a semifinal matchup for St. Pius. 11-9 all-time playoff record. And Fish, again, with his number called straight forward, will pick up a couple.
And, you know, I don't think it matters how long this drive takes. That's what they want to do. Ball control, keep their offense on the field, and hopefully not put their defense on the field.
Isaac Wilson, Eddie Thomas on that last stop. As you see Fish's numbers here tonight, 6 rushes, 26 yards for the senior. And of course, a big first down conversion there a while ago. So 2nd down and 8 right here. Time starting to wind down into that 5-minute mark, but St. Pius on the move, trailing 13-0. Gonna fake the pitch. Knight looking to throw. Everyone covered up except for Will Asip, who makes a sliding grab at the 26.
What a play, a great design and a great throw by the quarterback. It is not easy to roll to the right, looking, and then throw when you're off balance like that. A great pass and a great reception for the first down. As we take a look at the replay, watch him, he's looking, he's got plenty of time. The play design was perfect, and the pass was perfect as well.
And that was indeed a catch right there. So ball at the 26, Golden Lions on the move. Asip again, right around 90 receptions. Has certainly been, or 90 carries on the year, rather. This is a team that doesn't really throw the football that much, but when they do, they can do it effectively.
And you have to like how they're mixing it up. There was a roll around the right side, a nice pass. This time the quarterback keeps it, gets a nice gain, and hey, they're close to the red zone, Dave.
Yeah, Dylan Knight right there. Only listed at about 5'8", 150 pounds or so.
But fearless.
Yep, absolutely. There's ball standard. And the Lions. Offense on the move, 2nd and 7. And they give Asip his hit, bounces off of one tackle, still on his feet.
What a
Great
move.
cut, 15, 10, and down to the 9. Great open field tackle by Charles McKenzie, who saved a touchdown. But it'll be a first down for St. Pius. And all of a sudden, that Lion offense is really clicking.
What a play here. He saw it wasn't going to work on the right side. He switches the ball into his left hand. Beautiful. That's what you teach your kids. Fundamentals, folks. That's what it is right there for the nice gain inside the 10-yard line. Will Asip getting the job done.
And avoided the umpire right there, too.
Yeah.
He did a nice job to get out of the way.
Yeah, he did.
So 1st and goal right here from the 9. Asip in motion. And ball loose on the ground. Knight did good just to fall back on that thing.
Yep, just dive on the ball. You don't want to turn over here. You want to put points on the board.
Well, clock really not much of a factor right here. You still got over 3 minutes. But you got to put up 6 right here. You got to feel if you're St. Pius, Northside again with all the momentum in the world in this first half. And credit the Golden Lions, though, who, again, don't want to get down 2 or 3. They don't want to get down 3 scores or so and try to continue to have to run the football and have to get into a passing situation.
Absolutely. And if they can score here, it's what they came into the game doing. They have ball control, and they're doing it right now. That's their offense.
2nd and goal, Knight under center. Jonathan Davis in motion this time. And the pitch is to Davis. Trying to cut it back inside. We'll take it to the 6. Eric Fields, the linebacker, in on another tackle. And as we talk about Northside and their defense with all the seniors and juniors and so forth, here's Eric Fields, number 34, just a sophomore. So it goes to show that even though you're a younger kid, you can still play at Northside.
Absolutely. And I think this is when it comes down to desire, Dave. Both of these squads have been on the field for a while. The defense on Northside, do they want to stop them? How bad do they want to stop them? And how bad does St. Pius want to get in the end zone?
Nearing the 2-minute mark, 3rd and goal. Ball just outside the 5. Evan Farrell wide up top. Knight looking to throw the fade. Near side has a man there. Flint. And it carried him out of bounds. Incomplete. McKenzie had the coverage.
Yep, good coverage. Good coverage by Northside just over his outstretched arms.
So 4th down. And the field goal unit will come onto the field right here. Pius looking to put up some points there. Chris Philpott. As we take another look at that last play there, it was a good idea. Let him a little bit too much there, though. And again, the Eagles, McKenzie had the coverage.
Important field goal right here, Dave. You want to put the 3 on the board. You got to get some points here.
23-yarder from the far hash. And that one going to be blown dead right there. Again, Chris Philpott also handles the punting duties, is really a weapon when it comes to field position. Here's our referee, Bobby Willis.
Got a dead ball. False start on offense.
So that'll back it up a little bit more, but still well within Philpott's range here. 1:56 to play, first half. It's moved right along. Both teams keeping it primarily on the ground here in the first 22 minutes.
Dead ball. False start on offense.
I wouldn't put it past Coach Standard right here to pull a fake either. Got to be ready for anything if you're Northside. Snap, the kick is there, and he's got it.
Well
nice
done.
Job right there. Go down as a 26-yarder for Chris Philpott, who gets St. Pius on the board. And we'll go ahead and take a timeout and be right back with the final 150 from the Georgia Dome. When we return, it's Northside 13, St. Pius 3. Ten-point lead for the Northside Eagles out of Warner Robins, making their second straight trip to the Georgia Dome. But St. Pius on the board there after Chris Philpott connected on a field goal attempt right there. And now Philpott will boot it away here deep, and Northside still with 1:50 on the clock here before the half. Dave Garner, Corey Kessler with you. Phil Proctor on the sideline tonight along with the rest of the Georgia Public Broadcasting crew. A deep kick this time. Will be taken by Bass inside the 5, breaks a tackle, 25, watch out, 30, and finally out of bounds, driven out at the 33, and a good return right there by Nick Bass. So, Corey, it was very important for St. Pius to get some points on the board.
Absolutely it was, and they have a weapon in their field goal kicker, Philpott. He has been consistent all year long. They needed the 3 points. Nice run back right here. Nice cutback by Bass to turn it into a nice gain on the kickoff return. Where are they, at the 34-yard line?
Right there at the 33, they'll spot it. Did you see Bass, who is pretty much the return specialist there, and also an excellent wideout. And again, 1:42 on the clock. Bass in motion that time, and the give is to Taiwan Green, who is hit and dropped. Looked like he was going to have more real estate there, but the door was closed quickly. Patrick Nyland and Peter Schiller.
Yeah, Schiller and Nyland with great pursuit. Sorry, Dave, great pursuit on the ball. They know how important it is to keep this team on that side of the field before halftime, either going with a 14-3 deficit or possibly get a turnover and get back on the board.
Look at that defense there. Jonathan Davis, number 2, has certainly been a guy that stood out in this first half. So now it's 2nd and 5. Again, Ivory out of the shotgun, throwing high, and too tall for Jacoby Rodriguez.
You would think they'd be a little bit more in sync. You know, Jacoby playing quarterback last year, of course. Marquez was a backup quarterback last year, but a couple passes have been high to Rodriguez. He just couldn't come down with them.
Maybe some nerves there. You know, you talked about Coach Nix being a family affair. How about Coach Standard, another guy that's certainly been in that atmosphere?
Absolutely, he certainly has. And something to point out is Coach George Maloof is the reason that he is at St. Pius. He said he played for George Maloof. Coach George Maloof, the first coach at St. Pius, could not be here for health reasons. He said he's the reason he's the coach.
3rd and 5. That time Ivory faked the little swing pass right there. It may have been covered up. Javad Sewell with the tackle up front there, and a big stop. And now the clock will stop here. It looks like a timeout going to be called by St. Pius defensively.
Of course, a family affair for St. Pius is what I was alluding to with Coach George Maloof. As we look at the north side sidelines there, Dave.
Coach Nix, of course, talking things over with his quarterback. Again, he does give Ivory the freedom to call some audibles right there, and it Didn't look like that was necessarily a designed play or a designed result right there. It looked like he wanted to swing that ball out, but Pius came up there in coverage a little bit, and Ivory didn't feel comfortable pulling the trigger.
And probably a wise decision. You don't want to get a pickoff here and have your opponent take it back for 6.
6 first-timers in the Georgia Dome this weekend. St. Pius, of course, one of those teams. As you see the rest of them, Athens Academy, Carver Columbus, who of course played earlier today, East Paulding, Peachtree Ridge, and Roswell. Are the glory days back for the Hornets? We'll see those guys tomorrow night in 5A action. Ricardo Negrin will punt it away for Northside on 4th down and 3. And St. Pius will get out of the way. And it is down at the 26 there. Number 50, Ben Hicks. Or number 35, rather, Marcus Hill with the touch. And so St. Pius right here with 40 seconds. Will try to make something happen right here, or will they just try to run out the clock?
That's a good question. I wondered what the answer will be. We'll find out shortly. But you're deep in your own territory, but you're still down by 11 points. So, or 10 points, that is 13-3. Looks like they're going to take a knee.
And Northside's got 11 guys within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. Here's Davis, who will cut it back in. And will carry it up to the 33 against St. Pius, the 1968 state champions, 4 semifinals in their history. Meanwhile, Northside over the last 10 years has compiled a 115-16 record, just absolutely dominating, but they're in search of their first state championship. Again, fallen last year by 3 in a heartbreaker against Statesboro. Here they are again, 13-0 and number 1, trying to get back to that point this year. Final 10 seconds rolling off the clock here in this first half. It's been a good first half. As Tyler Fish punches it forward, he'll have a first down, and the clock will stop with 1 tick left. A whole new defensive line for Northside this year. Graduated all 4 of their guys up front. Of course, they do run a 50 front a lot. But again, we talked about not rebuilding, reloading. This team really was a year away from where they are, where people thought they would be.
So they're ahead of the game.
Of schedule. Absolutely. Well, the first 24 minutes of this one is in the books. And it's the Northside Eagles out of Warner Robins, 13. St. Pius Golden Lions out of Atlanta, 3. A good ball game and a good first half, a 10-point game. St. Pius very much alive here, had a little bit of momentum in their side at the end of the second half. And they'll try to carry that over into the next half of play. Meanwhile, Northside, again, 2 quarters away from advancing back to a state championship contest. Let's go ahead and throw it down to the field. Phil Proctor standing by with Coach Nix.
Okay, Coach, 10-point lead. Did you expect this kind of ball game?
Well, I knew it was going to be very physical. I wasn't expecting quite as much adversity on our part as far as offense and all. But, you know, that's football, and that's the way it is. We just have to deal with it and go on. We got to tighten up a little bit on defense responsibilities, but basically they're doing similar things that we were anticipating.
Okay, Coach, well, thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Phil. That's it for right now. We'll be back with the Battle of the Bands coming up. Northside, St. Pius when we return. 13-3, Northside up at the half. Northside 13-3 over St. Pius here at the half in the first of 2 Quad A semifinal matchups on the night here. And now we go downstairs to Phil Proctor standing by. Oh. Let's go ahead and listen in now to the pride of Northside, Paul Gilbo and J. Otis Carter, the band directors. 145 members strong with their show title, Sounds of Motown. We want to interrupt the band right now. We believe we have somebody special on the line. If we do have the connection, joining us is Lieutenant Colonel James Lange. Are you there, Colonel?
Yes, I am.
Wow, thank you so much for being with us right here. Again, tell us, if it's okay, where are you deployed and how long have you been there?
Yeah, I'm deployed to what's called the Victory Base Complex, which is west of Baghdad. We've been here since August.
Absolutely. Now, from what I understand, you were a football referee for 26 years. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was a member of Capital City Officials Association for all those years.
We're certainly proud of your service there. Of course, we're right in the middle of the Northside Warner Robins St. Pius game. St. Pius is making their first trip to the Georgia Dome. Have you had the opportunity to referee a football game inside the Georgia Dome?
Yes, I did. I don't remember the exact year, but I refereed the Macon County Manchester game in the Dome.
Wow. Wow. Share with us, if you will, a little bit about yourself. Where did you go to high school? When did you graduate? What sports did you play? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a native of New Orleans, graduated high school there in 1964. Then graduated from LSU, did a stint in the military during Vietnam, did a tour in Vietnam, then came back and started working at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in 1974. And have been with them except for 2 years ever since. And we'll go back to the CDC when I return from my tour in Iraq.
Wow. Well, you know, it is the holiday season. And if you'd like, please share any thoughts and greetings to your family and friends back home.
Yes, I gave them a heads up that they might be able to hear me. So I want to tell them all that I love them and that I will be seeing them, I hope, within the next week if all goes well.
Sounds great. Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us right here. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for taking the time to phone us in here, Lieutenant Colonel Lange, and thank you for very much for serving your country, and our very best to you in the days and months ahead.
Well, I want to say to all the listeners that those of us who are serving over here could not do it without your support, and we deeply appreciate it, and we thank you for everything that you are doing for us just to show your support.
Well, we thank you, but we thank you very much. And again, Lieutenant Colonel James Lange joining us right here live on the phone during the first semifinal matchup tonight. Lieutenant Colonel, thanks for being with us.
Okay, and say hello to Dr. Swearingen for me.
We will. Thank you very much.
All right,
indeed a special night here again. Again, Lieutenant James Lange joining us right here live on the phone from Iraq, and certainly adding to what's been an already special weekend, and of course this on the anniversary weekend of Pearl Harbor as well, and certainly appreciate him spending some time with us right there indeed.
And nice that he gets to reach out to his loved ones and say hello live here on our broadcast as well. And he knows a lot about high school football in the state of Georgia, from New Orleans, but was a referee, what'd you say, for 26 years?
26 years.
So he knows about these teams, and quite a game.
Let's go ahead and throw it down to the sideline. Mr. Phil Proctor is standing by.
All right, I got Paul Gilbo down here, and Otis, my man Carter. Look, y'all were doing some old school stuff out there. Was that your collaboration?
Well, we put this together years ago and kind of revised it and brought it back and resurrected it and put some things together as we came to the new school this year at Northside, and thought we'd bring back a little old school, a little Motown sound.
Okay, and Otis, I noticed that while the performance was going on, you had a little head rocking and your hands were clapping. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the biggest thing for me is seeing the look on these kids' faces when they do a great job. And as you can hear, we've been working real hard to get the job done. And I love Motown myself, so it's just a real good thing to have the kids bringing up some old school sound.
Well, being an old school guy myself, I definitely appreciated it. Now, I understand there's also a special relationship with you two guys. One was a student, one's the teacher?
Yes, we both were at Valdosta High School years ago when I taught there, and Jadis was a student. In fact, he also sang in my wedding there 4 years ago.
So you sing too?
Yes.
You want to hit something for us?
I got sunshine on a cloudy day.
All right, Otis, my man, you got it going on. Tell me something. How long have you been there?
This is our first year here at Northside. I was in Brunswick, Georgia for 3 years, and then I taught at Valdosta for 12 years. So this is our first year together here at Northside.
All right, well, I tell you what, we definitely appreciate it. It was a great performance. You guys enjoy yourselves. All right, back upstairs to you guys.
All right, Phil, sounds good. We're going to go ahead and take a break. He could take some singing lessons from J. Otis Carter, it sounds like right there. 13-3 inside the Georgia Dome. We're back with more from halftime when we return. Stay with us. Northside up 13-3. Let's throw it back to the field as the Battle of the Bands continues. It's the St. Pius Golden Marching Lions, 37 members strong, with the sounds of Ray Charles.
Thanks, Tom.
The Golden Marching Lions putting on quite a performance. Let's throw it down to the field. Phil Proctor standing by with a special guest.
Chad Pesnick, I'm going to tell you what, that was sensational. Ray Charles, the arrangement, how'd you come up with that?
We wanted to do a fun show that's entertaining for the kids, you know, second-year marching band, second year of our existence of our marching band, and we wanted something that would bring their spirits up and they could have a lot of fun with.
So before you got there, was there a marching band?
No, they had planned for it, and they had a similar marching band back in the 70s where they just came on the field and stood still and played, but they ordered uniforms,
Okay.
and then I came in and we got the program going.
And so how long have you been in the music business itself?
It's about my 10th year as a full-time band director right now.
Now, you've been to the Dome before, though.
Yes, Paulding County 2001.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great performance. We definitely appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, to you. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, Phil Proctor looked like he was having a lot of fun down there, without a doubt. Let's go ahead and take a look back at some of the first half highlights right here, Corey.
Yeah, the mishandled snap on the punt. St. Pius loses it right there, and then the next possession, of course, into the end zone. Tywan Green, 1 of 2 touchdowns for Green. This the most significant. He takes it on the right side, up the sidelines, a 62-yard scamper, and they were up big. Of course, St. Pius would come back on the Will Asap. Great read here. Watch him change hands. He changes the ball, gets up for a beautiful gain. That would set up a field goal just before halftime. And Northside leads 13-3 after the Philpott field goal. So St. Pius has its work cut out for it, but at least they got on the board before the break.
As you take a look at the numbers here, again, 13-3 score. Passing yards, not a lot really from either team. It's really been done on the ground. 111 rushing for Northside, 75 for St. Pius. Here you can look at the total yards. Penalties, again, St. Pius not really shooting themselves in the foot. They are known to play mistake-free football. Just 3 penalties for Northside. Third down conversions, the Eagles 0 for 3. 3 of 8 for St. Pius, and they've had the football longer. Again, 15-15 time of possession, but again, Northside still up by 10. Green, 8 carries, just shy of 100 yards already in that first half, and of course, those 2 touchdowns. We'll go ahead and take a timeout and be right back. Second half coming up live from the Georgia Dome on Georgia Public Broadcasting. Northside up 13-3 as we get set for the start of the third quarter. Let's go downstairs to Phil Proctor.
Hey, Coach Standard, you know, we were talking earlier this week about things you would be concerned with. Your team looked pretty good in the first half.
You know, Phil, we really did. I thought we did some good things defensively. We made a couple stops, gave up 1 long run. Thought we moved the ball well at times, had a good drive. We only got a field goal out of that. But we feel good. It's 13-3. We certainly are in the ball game, and our kids are ready to come back in the second half. We just can't make those mistakes we made in the first half to give them something to ease.
Well, Coach, good luck to you in the second half.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. All right, guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, thanks, Phil. And considering the start that St. Pius had, Corey, in this football game with that bad punt snap, they should feel pretty fortunate to be down just 13-3.
Absolutely, Dave. When you think about it, they're doing what they want to do other than the mistake. They held the ball for 15-plus minutes. They are a ball control team. They find themselves down by 10, mainly because of that long run by Green and the mishandle on the punt.
Meanwhile, Northside has been able to rack up some yardage on the ground, as we saw over 100, about 111 yards there. They've won their past 10 games by 20 or more points. I think that's something you alluded to in the first half, so they really haven't been tested. I'd say they're getting a little bit of a test here tonight, although they're still kind of in control of the game at this point.
Yeah, they certainly have not really been tested. Like you said, 41-0 they win over Lee County in the first round of the playoffs. So they've cruised to the Georgia Dome.
A kick right here, high, fairly deep. Jonathan Davis back deep will take it from his 6. Across the 15, trying to turn it up, and he'll be 8 up at the 17. And St. Pius, again, remember they won the opening toss but deferred to the second half, so they do start with the football right here. Jonathan Davis was certainly a guy who got it done and on offense and defense in that first half. Very active. St. Pius, again, 2 losses this year, coming to Mays and Marist. As you get a look at the quarterfinal game against Thomas County Central, that was really the emotional game, came from 20 points down in the second half to win in overtime. So, believe me, 13-3 right now is certainly nothing to panic about.
Absolutely not. Not insurmountable.
Davis with the first carry will have about 2.5 up to the 20.
You have to be impressed with this sophomore. I mean, a young kid playing in the game of his life, fearless. I mean, I think that's how you would describe St. Pius. They're fearless. They know they can do it. They just have to control the ball and not have any mistakes this half.
Of course, Mitchell Bell, the safety there, was certainly a big part defensively for the Eagles there. As you see Dylan Knight, the quarterback, on 2nd down and 7. Davis in motion this time, going to swing it out to him. Trying to turn it, 20, and up across the 25, still on his feet. Finally taken down just shy of the 1st down by about a half yard or so. Keith Townsend was the guy who wrangled him in there.
Beautiful pursuit by Townsend. He saw it was going to that side of the ball. He stayed his ground and he made the play. Of course, the rest of the team was there to bring him down after he made the initial contact.
So 3rd down and short right here. Again, we saw St. Pius go for it on 4th and 2 from inside their own 45 in the first half and got it. As you see the offense right there. Again, Schiller, the tight end, 6'1", 215. Good looking athlete right there. Again, Hill, number 35, defensively across the front for Northside. And this time Knight going to pitch it out there quickly. That's Asip trying to turn the corner. Will be drugged down at the 29, but that will be good enough for the 1st down there as Armstrong brought him down.
Just what they need to do. Slowly but surely, just move the sticks, move up the field. Still great pursuit there by Merle Armstrong.
Nice job there. Isaac Wilson, number 9, head quarterback, and certainly honored that right there. And the ball at the 29, 1st down and 10. 1997, the last time Northside didn't win 10 games in a season. They were 9-4 that year. So they've been absolutely tough throughout the year. And a gain of about 2 yards there. Tyler Fish straight ahead, his first carry of the 2nd half. And boy, you talk about a load to bring down. Fish was certainly one of the hardest hitting guys, I guess, during that first half. And I'm sure Northside felt a couple of those blows there.
Oh, absolutely. You know, in one game this season, he played in 102 plays on offense and defense. He's certainly a workhorse.
St. Pius, as we talk about, averaging 28.3 points in these playoffs. Beat Dalton 31-14, Pebblebrook 20-18 in a close one. And of course, that overtime thriller last week against Thomas County Central, 34-33. And that time, a gain of about 4 yards or so across the 35 there by Davis. So St. Pius, Corey, really methodically just 3 yards and a cloud of, well, we say dust, more like a rubber, I guess, on this turf right here. But that's pretty much what they're doing.
And the bottom line is, think about that game once again where they came back to get here to where they are. They were down 27-7. Watch the guard pull. And there goes Davis up the middle into the gang of tacklers from Northside. They're moving the ball, doing what they want, ball control.
And we talk about offensively not being a very big football team. Their offensive line averages 231, but the 2 tackles make up a big part of that. Here's the option again. Davis, great cut inside. And one thing, Corey, I've really noticed that these receivers are really blocking downfield, and that's helping those guys cut back in.
It's fundamentals that Paul Standard, teaches that to his kids. Everybody on the team, you're a football player. If you're running backs behind you and you're a receiver, you're going to lay a block down. They're doing that. I also like, Dave, the way they're mixing up left to right to left, left to right. They're keeping Northside as best they can off balance.
Darius Ivey on that last tackle for Northside. And St. Pius, if anything, punching it out of their own end here. Showing that wing tee look. 1st down and 10 at their own 48. Knight going to hand it to Fish, left side, driving. Great second effort up across the 45 there. Avery Jones, number 97, brought him in. Jones, a good-looking athlete. He's got some size to him. So we talked about Northside's front 4 basically graduating. This is a fresh 4, if you will. There, as you see Fish, his numbers, 9 rushes, 40 yards tonight for the senior, and starting to crank it up a little bit. And the winner of this one moves on to next week's state championship against the winner of our nightcap between East Paulding and Marist. This time Knight going to keep back into the middle of the field. Looked like he was going to have a little bit more room there. Anthony Taylor shut the door, and it will be 3rd down, but Pius into Northside territory at the 48.
So fundamentally sound. Knight, that's not easy to keep that ball tucked in like that. At the last second, decide to tuck it in and go up the middle because he could have pitched it. I think it would have been a poor decision if he did. He made the right decision and got a good, nice gain out of it.
Well, and if you're Northside, you've got to honor that fullback in that type of offense. So you're having 2 or 3 guys going with Tyler Fish sometimes, and Knight's going to have a little bit of room.
Absolutely.
3rd and short right here, 3rd and a yard at the 48 of the Eagles, and Tyler Fish will punch it ahead. He's got the 1st down inside the 45. Marcus Hill with the stop, but not before the change move once again for the Golden Lions.
Making it happen. Coach Standard told his kids at halftime, you have to think he at least told them, let's get back to basics. Let's do what we do best. Let's keep the ball on offense, keep them off balance, and let's punch it into the end zone.
St. Pius 10-3 in 2003, their best record in 35 years. As you see the current drive, 9 plays, 39 yards, and eating up that clock. And basically we're seeing what St. Pius has really done throughout the year. Keeping it on the ground, running the football, and running that clock. Good ball control offense.
Of course, Northside, such a cohesive unit. The first thing they did after they lost to Statesboro in the state title game last year is they all got into the weight room 3 days later, and they started to get to know one another because they knew there was going to be a transition there. As we've pointed out before, they're a cohesive unit, and it shows on the scoreboard. They're up by 10. We'll see how long that lasts.
Second down and 6 right here. St. Pius again on the move. Davis in motion this time. Knight will hand it to him. Great cut, middle of the field, 25-20. It's a foot race. Jonathan Davis, touchdown. Armstrong, the free safety, tried to grab him but couldn't catch him.
What a beautiful play. Just what they needed, and you had the sense that it was going to happen, Dave. The way that they were mixing up their offense to the left, to the right, Dillon holding on to it, and then finally, boom, Davis takes it and pop. He's up the middle, splits the defense, and outruns the defender into the end zone for 6. They're back in the ballgame. We have got a heck of a game now.
And Davis is fired up over on the near sideline. Again, St. Pius in the home blue. As you see Chris Philpott, who nailed that field goal towards the end of the first half to get the Lions on the board, and just hooks that one inside the left upright. So we do have a ball game at 13-10. Northside still up 3, but St. Pius with their opening drive of the second half here, driving it methodically down the field, and then the big play from Davis.
And you just have to think that that play was designed to go further to the left, but he saw the opening and he grabbed it, and it was the right decision.
Here it is again, and you can see how fast these guys are here. Northside giving chase, but Davis to the house. So with 5:58 to play here in quarter number 3, it's a tight one, folks. 3-point game. Northside 13, St. Pius 10. Step aside and be back with more high school football live from the Georgia Dome on GPB. This crowd fired up here tonight. Of course, St. Pius back in this football game. They trail it by 3 after a lengthy drive and a big score by Jonathan Davis. 13-10, Northside on top. The Eagles will get the football back right here. And after having all the momentum in the world in the first half, the undefeated Eagles now find themselves in a football game.
Yep, and St. Pius is familiar with coming back from huge deficits. And when you think about it, Northside's already given up more than they average giving up per contest. They only average giving up 7 a game. So the momentum certainly has shifted into St. Pius's favor.
Chris Philpott to boot it away here. Nick Bass back deep for Northside, and this one will drive Cooper a few yards deep into the end zone, and it will come back to the 20. Again, you cannot run out of the end zone in high school football there, so it will come to the 20. Marquez Ivory will go back to work here, and again, we talked about St. Pius's best defense being their offense, and here we are, just 6 minutes left in the third quarter, and Northside hasn't touched the football.
And when you think about it, Northside, of course, fighting. They want to be the first team to advance to the state title game from Warner Robins. Warner Robins also in the state semifinals that game tomorrow.
And you know that community is abuzz down there in Houston County. You see Ivory's numbers and the give. Taiwan Green into the middle. He's got some real estate. Breaks off of a tackler trying to get away from number 45, Kyle Cleland. Cleland was able to trip him up, but a big gain and a first down, a gain of 12 on the first play from scrimmage for the Eagles.
You get the feeling that this game has just begun right now. One team scored, another team scored, then they're opening the second half, a long drive by St. Pius. Taiwan Green wants to make his mark once again. He already has 2 TDs. Back and forth, like 2 heavyweights.
Ivory under center. Big offensive line. Crawford, Zunino, the guards have done an excellent job. Here's Green again, but this time stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, and not much there at all for Green. Cleland, one of the first guys there.
Great pursuit by the defense. They're going to have to do that continuously if they want to stop Green. He's got the wheels, as we've seen.
Trying to get 11 hats to the football right there are the Golden Lions, and forward progress will give them a couple, so 2nd and 8. Northside, of course, beating Warner Robins. A crosstown rival this year. As a big win there, of course, non-region, with Warner Robins being a 5A school. Throw it out here. That's complete to Rodriguez up at the 40 and pushed out of bounds at the 42.
Looked like a face mask, but I don't think that they threw a flag on the play.
No call on the play there. Looked like both guys may have gotten each other's face mask there on that sequence at some point. Maybe a little stiff arm in here right here.
Yeah, maybe it was a stiff arm. It was incidental. Yeah, he didn't grab it. He just pushed him out.
I think the St. Pius faithful wanting a penalty right there, but yeah, good stiff arm indeed, as you see Coach Nix. Here comes the referee here tonight, Bobby Willis. Going to bring the chains across here for a measurement. Got right to that first down marker. Rodriguez, as we talked about, converting from quarterback to wideout this year. And the Eagles going to be a little bit shy, about 6 inches. So 3rd down, less than a yard right here, and 4:44 to go in this 3rd quarter.
I'll tell you something. I wouldn't be surprised, Dave, to see a long pass here because St. Pius may not be expecting it. 3rd and short. You know, maybe you could even go for it on 4th down if you couldn't complete the pass here. But watch for something different. They always throw you off balance anyway. Coach Standard on the sidelines looked like he's having fun. His team just scored a touchdown. He's got to be.
Well, some of that momentum has trickled over to the defense, I think, for St. Pius.
I would agree.
They made some nice stops right here. So Marquez Ivory, again, will work out of the shotgun on 3rd and short. He's got some options. Quinn's near side receiver up top. Then Green the lone back. Now with a last-minute word with the center, maybe changing the snap count up. They might try a hard count right here. Green in the middle, took a shot, but he will have the first down. He needed about half a foot, got about 1.5 yards. Big play right there, and the Eagles keep the chains moving.
It looked like he may have audibled at the line of scrimmage, but obviously it was the right play and the right call. They got the first down.
See those ends crashing down defensively. Schiller came in there, but they ran it right up the gut. And just enough real estate right there for Green to pick up the first. Green with 2 touchdowns in this game. And the ball up at the 43. And this time Ivory looking to the air, deep down the field, has a man there. It's going to be nearly caught, nearly intercepted. No flag on the play there. Nick Bass was the intended target, and Hayes Burrow, the safety, had the coverage.
Beautiful defense right there. He steps up, times his jump perfectly to knock the ball away and prevent a huge gain for Northside.
That ball a little underthrown right there.
Oh, he went for the interception.
Yeah.
Great play, great composure and concentration.
That ball looked a little short coming out of Ivory's hand there a little bit. A 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. This time Northside will go Twins up top. St. Pius, ball bobbled there. Ivory hit. Ivory goes down, back inside the 35.
Great pursuit by Greg Foster. He saw what happened, and he was not going to let a broken play turn into a big play for Northside. Watch number 10 here, Dave. He sees what happens. He goes right for the ball, whether it was a blitz or not. Foster drops him for a loss. Great play.
And hitting Ivory's like hitting Dante Culpepper. I mean, that guy is big back there, 6'2", 240, but Foster was able to get enough of him to get him off his feet there. So 3rd down. And about 18 right here. Big play for both sides. Ivory will continue to work out of shotgun right here. 3rd and long. Fires it down the field. That ball tipped. Wow, wow.
Almost into the hands of the receiver, the second receiver.
Nearly intercepted. They could have been caught, and that's a dangerous play across the middle right there. But it falls incomplete. St. Pius looks to get the football back here with 3:17 to go in the third. Ivers pass a little too tall. He's been a little high tonight on a few throws. Peter Schiller, the linebacker, dropped back into coverage and got a paw on it.
The defense did their job on that series.
Ricardo Negrin will put his foot into it. Big rush, gets it away. Low liner, fair catch signal at the 34 by Matt Pierce. So all of a sudden, Corey, things getting a little exciting here underneath the roof of the Georgia Dome.
Absolutely they are. The Lions doing exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to come out in the second half, control the ball, punch it into the end zone, a big play. They just have to avoid mistakes once again. A long drive, and hopefully for them, get into the end zone. Northside, on the other hand, Dave, they need to smack one of the players, you know, to hit them hard, maybe cause a fumble, and turn the tide of the momentum.
Northside's +10 turnover ratio this year, so they have been known to cause a few. And the give right here, Asip, not much there, maybe a yard up to the 35. Deontay Jordan on the tackle. You know, there have been more than 30 players who have played their high school semifinals here inside the Georgia Dome that have made it to the National Football League. But you're not going to find a whole lot of Division 1A prospects on either one of those, on these two teams. It's not a knock. It just goes to show that this is a total team effort by both teams. They have come together.
Absolutely. I think it's a compliment to both schools that these guys are together, they're cohesive, and they're better for it. It's no one star.
Richard Espada was saying at one of the Major League Baseball lists as well. Jeff Francoeur, I believe, played here as well.
Really? Shame on me for not knowing that.
Second down and 9. Knight under pressure, gets rid of it, has a man there, throws it wide. Asip was the intended target at the midfield stripe there. But Northside sitting all over that one defensively. Charles McKenzie, the corner, was the closest man to it.
The Eagles doing just what they need to do. They need to put pressure on the quarterback. They need to pressure the ball, and they need to stop them on this drive and get the ball back. 3rd and long here, right, Dave? 3rd and 9, I believe.
Yep, 3rd and 9 upcoming. Passing situation. Remember, St. Pius doesn't throw the football that much. So let's see what they do right here. Receiver up top. Wing T look. That's Gibson, number 8 in motion. Knight looking to the air. Pressured, gets rid of it, throws. He's got a man complete. Up at midfield, breaks the tackle. That's Flint out of bounds, and a first down for Pius. Joey Flint, the wide out / DB, plays both ways. Just one of those guys that does that. And Knight rolling to his right. That's a hard throw for a right-handed quarterback to make, but he put it on the money.
I don't even know if Jeff Francoeur could have made that play. I mean, that's a tough throw right there. A strong arm from Francoeur, obviously, as a baseball player, but Knight made the play that he had to make. They got the first down. The drive stays alive.
Really squared his shoulders right there on the move. And they're going to look at the yardage right here. Run pass, 194 to 151 now. And the tables have turned a little bit. And there's good first down yardage right there by Tyler Fish.
The Eagles defense must be surprised. They're probably perplexed as to what exactly is happening. They thought they could come in and, you know, pretty much shut down this offense, but it is ball control, and St. Pius in the second half, Dave, doing all the right things.
Well, we're talking about adjustments. I think the Golden Lions certainly made some at halftime.
Yes, they did. And the main one is holding on to the ball.
Second down and 4. Fish again dives forward. He will have a couple. Going to be just shy of that first down marker. You know, we've talked a lot about St. Pius and what they did in the quarterfinals, but let's flip it over and talk a little bit about Northside. They beat Habersham Central 34-0 on the road. And that's a Habersham Central team that's known to put up a lot of points and a lot of numbers. Northside shut them out, held them to 116 total yards. Just an awesome effort by this Eagle defense.
You never hear of that. Hold them to 116 total yards. That's remarkable for a high school team. Congratulations to them on that. They need to stop them here, though.
Tyler Fish on a big 3rd down and 2 with the first down right up the gut.
Straight over the center. And Tyler Fish is the workhorse. They need to keep handing him the ball. And he'll get him a first down. Once again, he does it.
Northside with 2 shutouts in the playoffs defensively, but St. Pius not intimidated here in the second half as they continue to run the football and run it with success. Took the opening drive of the half, marched the length of the field and scored, making a 3-point game, and now they're on the move again. Dylan Knight, option. Jonathan Davis trying to cut outside 30, breaks a tackle, and they will mark him out at the 26. Keith Townsend, the corner, pushed him out.
What great balance he has, Dave. He stays on his feet. He could have gone down 8 or 10 yards sooner, but he stays on his feet and gets the extra 7, 8, 9 yards right here. Look, he's still on his feet. He's still in bounds. What a player. Just a sophomore. You're going to see a lot of him. He might be the one player that could play, major Division I ball by the time he's a senior, Dave.
But I want to say great officiating job here tonight. These guys have been all over it, spotting them out of bounds, right where they go out. Again, a nice job tonight by this officiating crew out of Albany. 2nd down and 3. And the give. Asip with men in front of him.
Oh, there's the
ball
fumble.
on the ground. It's picked up by Fields. And he will be tackled by Jonathan Davis. But a big turnover right there by the Eagle defense. And we were talking about that +10 turnover ratio. And they got a big one right there, Corey.
Just what they needed. The Eagles defense got what they needed. We'll have to see the replay and see if it was just the ball was lost or it got knocked away. Let's see. Here's the replay. There it is around the left side. Yep, it's stripped. It's a great tackle. Jordan with the strip. And Dante Jordan, how many times have we said he's the vocal leader of this defense? He's the captain of this team. He comes up with a huge play.
Absolutely stripped that football field. You saw him on the sideline there. Again, the sophomore linebacker with a big scoop right there. And Davis probably saved a touchdown on the other end. So Northside will have the football at their own 43. And Ivory will go back to work. Tywan Green driving forward across the 45, driven backwards, but forward progress. Will give him a gain of 3, almost 4 yards there. Sean O'Toole with the hit. And that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter, and it will be. So through 3 quarters of play here inside the Georgia Dome, it's a good one. The Northside Eagles out of Warner Robins trying to advance back to the state championship for the 2nd straight year. They've got 13-10 for St. Pius Golden Lions as we hit the final 12 minutes of play from underneath the dome. We're back. High school football in your living room on Georgia Public Broadcasting. Northside up 13-10 over St. Pius as we start quarter number 4. Let's go downstairs to Phil Proctor. Phil, what's going on?
Dave, I'm on the sideline of Northside. I got this helmet in my hand. You see there's a number 96 over here. Number 96 represents Chris Johnson. He's a junior at Northside Warner Robins. He's on the football team, and in the summer of 2005 was diagnosed with leukemia. Now, he's too ill to play, but he is still part of this team. In fact, tonight he's on the sideline wearing number 96. And one of the things that Coach Conrad Nix came up with is 4 quarters for Chris, in which people at the games are asked to donate 4 quarters for Chris and his family to help offset some expenses. You know, we playing a big game out here on the field, but there's a game of life, and Chris is right in the middle of it. We wish the best to he and his family.
Absolutely, Phil. You know, it's great to see young guys come together, rally, serve a purpose higher than themselves, and certainly take our hats off to Mr. Johnson and his family there, and, of course, this Northside Eagle team.
Great find by Phil for that story.
Absolutely. So as we open quarter number 4 here inside the Georgia Dome, again, Northside trying to take advantage of a St. Pius turnover. Tywan Green again with the carry there, and will be close to the 1st down. I believe he got it, and he did. So, again, Northside driving into St. Pius territory with a 3-point lead. Dave Garner, Corey Kessler with you. Phil Proctor again on the sideline along with the rest of the Georgia Public Broadcasting crew. As you see Coach Paul Standard trying to pull off what many around the state would feel would be an upset.
You sense the concern on his face. Sorry for the eruption, David. Look, you can sense he's concerned. He's worried. You got to stop him here.
And they're going to look at Green again inside the 40 pounds. That he's going to have another 9 yards, close to 10 yards on that play. Jamie Slaughter made the hit, get Northside undefeated and in here at number 1 in the state, Quad A. And I'll tell you what, there could certainly be an argument made that this might be the best team in the state regardless of classification coming into this week.
Undefeated, have not been challenged in the postseason. You mentioned a few times in the broadcast, Dave, that their last 10 games they've won by 20 points or more. Right now it's a 3-point ball game.
2nd down and short right here after a gain of 9. And this time looking to the air, throwing it
wide open.
And wide open at the 20. Makes a move. That's Brett Morgan tied in inside the 10. It'll be first and goal, Eagles.
Evan Farrell certainly saved a touchdown there, but it might have been a miscommunication on the defense because he was too wide open for that to be diagnosed for the defense to bring him down.
I like the play call, Corey. Second down and short. You know you can run it, get that first down. You've been eating up yardage, but they're going to take a shot down the field.
Absolutely, and it turned out to be the right decision. They're inside the 10 and knocking on the door.
Nice pass right there. It looked like Ivory threw it off his back foot there a little bit. But again, Moore, as you mentioned, wide open. And they're going to look at Moore. So first and goal. North side will stay in their offense. And Ivory on the keeper inside the 5. Hayes Burrow brought him down in the secondary.
He's got wheels, over 400 yards rushing this season. 1,500 passing, but he can also run it. He's a double threat from so many different looks that he'll give you on offense. Good defense, though. Once the defense was there, they brought him down. He didn't lug him into the end zone with that big 215-pound body that he has.
When St. Pius defensively has allowed 20 points or more, they've lost football games with the exception of last week's game, of course, against Thomas County Central. And now Northside looking to possibly tack on points, 19 and 20 here on this drive. Second and goal. And the keeper, Ivory, takes a shot at the 2. Wow, big hit in the middle.
What a stop.
Jonathan Davis, number 2 in the area there. I'm not sure if he was the one that got the lick or not. And, well, he and also big number 77, Jamie Slaughter.
That's not easy to do. Remember, this quarterback bench presses 350 pounds. For a quarterback, that's impressive. He's a big-bodied guy. He's a lot like that Larry Zonk on the other team, you know, and Tyler Fish, but he's bigger, he's taller, he's stronger.
Look at Schiller. Third down and goal. And this time Green up over the top of his head and stuffed. He didn't get it. Jonathan Davis met him over the top.
And that's what we said, Dave, throughout the broadcast. Watch to see if fatigue becomes a factor. Obviously, it is not for Jonathan Davis, who is a big part of this offense. He's also a big part of this defense, and a nice play right there to stop the touchdown.
Well, Corey, what do you do right here? It's fourth down and goal. You go, well, I guess the ball's inside the 1. North side is going to stay in here offensively. They're going to bring in the power set, and they're going to punch it in here. This might be the play of the game.
Absolutely.
Ivory going to give Green off tackle, touchdown into the end zone. Taiwan Green on 4th and goal found his seam. It looked like it was supposed to go off tackle. He bounced it outside and took it in.
He's got all 3 touchdowns for Northside, an integral part of this offense. It was obviously the right call. At first, I was second guessing it, Dave. Why are they doing this? Kick the 3 points. You go up by 6. It was the right call. They could go up by 10.
Devin Pike will look to add the PAT as you see Green there. And the kick is right through there. So 20-10. It's a 2-possession game again here inside the Georgia Dome as Northside takes control back. And remember, this was set up by that St. Pius turnover. The Eagles able to take advantage of it and punch it in.
And 2 scores in this game set up by St. Pius turnovers. Look at the play by Green here, the little stiff arm to get into the end zone, and the game of his life so far. In the Georgia Dome, he's got 3 touchdowns. Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I got 3 TDs in the biggest game of my life.
Well, it just shows you how deep Northside is. This kid last year really didn't even see the field much, playing behind Byron Hunter, who, as we mentioned in the first half, was an 1,800-yard rusher. You have David Everett, a lot of good seniors in front of a guy like Green, and switched from number 39 to number 5 and has really taken over as the man. And credit that offensive line, though. Again, those guys have also gotten it done.
And Dave, let's remind the audience that, you know, St. Pius, if you haven't followed St. Pius this year, they were down 27-7 in the 3rd quarter in a playoff game. They came all the way back to win it. So let's see if they can come back down 20-10.
Marcus Hartman booted it away. Number 5 on the carry right there for St. Pius. It's Tyler Traska, the return man right there on the far side. And just shy of the 20 there on the return. Well, after this weekend, the Georgia Dome will be the most common venue for GHSA state playoff games at 110. As you see the game summary so far, Northside up 10 here. And Green, 16 carries, 133 yards, and those 3 touchdowns. Philpott with the 28-yard field goal, and of course Davis with the touchdown run there as well from 40 yards out. And so St. Pius back to work offensively, but no gain on the play. Eric Fields, number 34, who had that big return while ago on the fumble, in on the stop there, and Deontay Jordan, those guys are really fired up.
And the Eagles have risen to the occasion that once again the momentum has shifted over to the side of Northside. They pursue, and that's what they need to do throughout the rest of this game if they want to win it.
Eric Fields, 55 tackles on the season, 6 for a loss, and 6 sacks as a sophomore. We've talked about him tonight. 2nd and 10. Farrell in motion. And Knight looking to throw the football. Great block from behind there. And that one a little low and incomplete.
That looked like Fish. No, it was Joey Flint. My bad. Joey Flint with a nice block to create the opening in the time that he needed to make the pass, but it wasn't complete. But, oh, what a play right there. It was Fish. It actually was Fish.
We talked about that secondary for Northside. Again, St. Pius down 2 possessions here in just 7:30. Going to try to throw the ball up a little bit more, but it's a tough secondary to throw on. McKenzie, 5 interceptions. Armstrong with 3. Bell with 2.
This could be the play of the game, Dave.
3rd down and 10. Halfback pass. They've been known to run it. Davis just going to unload it. Has a man down there. It's covered up pretty well.
It's intercepted.
Armstrong. Mario Armstrong back to the near side with blockers in front of him. Watch out. 45 midfield into St. Pius territory, and down at the 45 goes Armstrong. And we were just talking about the interceptions by that secondary. That time Armstrong playing center field, 3 or 4 guys down there, and an interception for the Eagles.
It almost looked like he just wanted to unload the ball because he saw his receiver, even though he probably saw the defensive backs. There were 2 of them back there, and he lofted it up there. A nice throw, but certainly bounced off of his receiver and into the arms of the Eagles.
4 interceptions now on the season to go along with those 38 tackles. They were looking to get it in there to Evan Farrell. Bell was back there in the area as well. That ball looked like it was tipped.
And it hit him in the hands. He's taller than the defensive back, so he had a shot at it. Didn't come down his way.
And then a good return gives the Eagles field position inside the St. Pius 40. Tewan Green tripped up at the line. Patrick Nyland, the safety up. And a gain of about 2 or 3 there.
If you're the Lions, you need to force a turnover. You need to try to strip the ball. You need to try to do everything you can to knock the ball loose. You're down by at least 2 scores here, so you need the ball in a hurry.
Saw Coach Stander there, of course, George Maloof, the first ever football coach at St. Pius there from 1958 to 1983. And Stander, of course, now the man in charge, 6 years, has done an excellent job. Coach Conrad Nix, 20-plus seasons at Northside. We know what he's done. These guys have been remarkable. But looking for that first state championship. Ivory will keep it, and will pick up a couple down to the 35. Jonathan Davis with another piece of another tackle.
Of course, Coach Standard said he played for Coach Maloof. The name Maloof, a big name in the state of Georgia. So many of George Maloof's sons.
Keith, Kevin.
At Decula. Of course, Keith over at
Norcross, I believe.
Yes, and getting the job done there. They were undefeated for a while, and they were in the playoffs. Had a shot to possibly get to the Georgia Dome, but fell a little bit shy. And looks like Northside holding on to the ball here and could be on their way to another state title matchup.
Conrad Nix can clock under 6 minutes. 3rd down and 6. Big play right here for both sides. Bass in motion, quick pitch right here to Green, turns the corner. He's got the first down, makes a move, and will go inside the 20. That's a huge play right there offensively.
Absolutely. Green gets the game ball if it ends up this way, that's for sure. Follows his blockers well, has the speed to get outside, and runs up the sidelines until he's finally brought down and knocked out of bounds. He has unending energy. I mean, he's going to sleep well tonight, you would think.
Well, after that run, he's right around 150, I'm guessing, on the night with those 3 touchdowns. And they'll keep it on the ground, and now Ivory becomes a lead blocker, makes a block out there, springs Green down to the 5. It'll be 1st and goal. And how about that big 235-pound frame at the quarterback there, throwing the block on that play. He handed it off to him. and said, here, let me lead the way.
And that's the advantage that you get with a big quarterback like that. Look at him lay down the block there. The last second looked like the defender turned his back. It was a legal block, obviously, and Green gets down deep into Lions territory.
St. Pius, some good linebackers, not too big, but very tough. But they're being tested right now against that Northside offensive line. These guys really firing off the ball right now, and it's 1st and goal, and this might be the knockout punch if the Eagles are able to put it in here. 1st and goal. Bass again in motion. Green into the middle is hit, stood up, still on his feet, and a great lick by Davis. And I'll tell you what, you can't say enough about the game that number 2 has played tonight.
Absolutely. Offense, defense, defense, offense. Jonathan Davis doing everything he can to help his team come out with a victory. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but it's still not over. 5 minutes left. They need a stop.
These guys are working in the middle for St. Pius against Sewell at 225, O'Toole 265, Cleland, Fish, Schiller coming up there. And right now it's that offensive line for Northside, dictating the tempo. Dooley at center, leading the way with Oates and Zunino at the guards. And here is Green over the left side, diving towards that goal line. They're going to mark him just shy of it. Crawford and Bibbins, again, the tackles for the Eagles. Bibbins at 6'3", 268. Brett Moore with a big catch on the last possession that set up that last touchdown is listed at 6'3", 220, so he's a big guy in his own right. Look at that. 3rd down and short. Ball just shy of the stripe. Ivory out of the shotgun right here. Will he keep it or will he hand it to Green? High snap.
It's a fumble.
Ivory picks it up, looking to throw it. He will keep it on the ground there. And I don't think he ever had any intention of throwing the football. He was just trying to fix somebody out there, and Joey Flint was on the play for St. Pius. So 3rd down and goal from less than a yard. Becomes 4th down now outside the 5.
And that was a very good play, very wise of him not to try and force it into the end zone, even though if the viewer could see it, the receiver was wide open, number 14. But it was smart of him not to try to throw it. You don't want an interception there. You're up by 10. He just tucked it in and took the sack.
Devin Pike will look to tack on a field goal right here, a 23-yarder. Puts the right foot into it. It's a low liner. No good. The freshman place kicker misses from 23 from the near hash. So it remains a 10-point game right here, but just 3:21 on the clock for the Golden Lions.
It's an uphill climb, but it's still possible. 3:21 left. You're down by 10. You can't have long, sustained ball control drives now. You need to punch it in sooner than later. But you're still in it and you have a chance.
Anything's possible after last week, Corey. Again, down 20 towards the end of the 3rd quarter. They come back and win it overtime at Thomas County Central. So there's certainly no quit. And these Golden Lions are going to swing it out ASAP. Hit and dropped immediately. Great job by Townsend right there, the corner who came up and made the hit. You know, you talk about corners and playing the pass, but these guys for Northside do an excellent job of really coming up and playing the run and made the hit in the backfield.
And you have to be impressed with that, because if you're Northside, you're going to be thinking right now St. Pius is going to pass the ball. For them to be on top of the ball that quickly is very impressive for that Northside Eagles defense.
Second and 10. Knight looking to throw a quick hitter. Has a man. That is Farrell, who gets it up across the 30 right there, and that will be a 1st down. McKenzie on the coverage. And I believe that's the first reception by Evan Farrell tonight.
And the clock stops on a 1st down. He got the 1st down. A nice little out pattern. He hauls it in. He was just one defender away from making a big game, but nice catch and 1st down and 10 for St. Pius.
Farrell's a big kid, 6'4", 185. A couple of touchdowns on the year as a pass receiver. So 1st down and 10, as you see tonight. The Golden Lions, 43 rushing plays, just 11 passing. Pretty much what we expected, but now they've got to throw the football. No one open. Knight going to tuck it, run it, and will slide down at the 40, at the 38.
You have to throw the football, but you also have to avoid any more turnovers. That would end it. A turnover here would end it. So a nice play. He calls a timeout, and they're on the 36, 37-yard line.
And that's the first timeout for St. Pius. They've got 2 left with 2:27 to go. Northside, meanwhile, with all 3 of their timeouts left. There you get a look at Coach Paul Standard. We had a chance to catch up with him earlier and talked a little bit about, asked him what he liked most about coaching.
What I like best about coaching is I have the ability to hopefully positively influence the lives of the young men that we get a chance to be with every day and to see them grow. And the biggest thrill for me is to see our kids come back and come and let me know how they're doing in their life after school, after high school and college, which we've had that opportunity, and it's been real special.
Coach Paul Standard, indeed a class act, 6 years, an old Citadel guy. And he shaved his mustache since the interview.
He did that pretty quickly. Maybe they can score quickly. They need it.
That one batted down right there by 43, Anthony Taylor.
I heard that one all the way up here. Anthony Taylor with the big arms.
Quietly having a big night. The junior lineman got up that time. And, you know, again, as we talked about, Knight's only about 5'8". So it's one of those guys who's got to really see it and get it up over the line there a little bit. Taylor timed his jump perfectly. So 3rd down and 4 right here. Back to the air. That one in and out of the hands, a little bit behind Evan Farrell, but catchable. So 4th down, but obviously the Golden Lions will go for it right here inside their own 40 with just 2:19 left.
And this is the ball game. What play do you call here? You know that all you need is a 1st down. You don't need to score on this play right here. You just need the 4 or 5 yards to continue the drive. The season could come down to this play for the Golden Lions.
North side defense again, only allowing 13 points in the postseason, all that in round 2 against Brunswick. Coach Conrad Nix picking up his 200th win at Northside. Green had 227 rushing yards in that game, 332 as a team. But right now it's the defense trying to make a stop. Knight avoids one tackler. Deep down.
What a play.
Flag comes flying in.
What a play, Dave. The receiver came back to the ball like he's taught to do. There could be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty as well. A 2nd flag went down. It looks like it's going to be 1st and 10, and the drive stays alive, as does the season.
Joey Flint made the grab and the flag. The only question was, did he push off or was it defensive right there? But I believe this one will go against the Eagles. And what a job right here. Knight again showing his elusiveness to be able to get away and then make a good throw. Coming back to the ball right there, Flint. Nice hands.
And that's what you're taught to do. Come back to the ball, help your quarterback when he's in trouble, and that's exactly what he did right there.
Charles McKenzie, the corner, maybe the guilty party right there, looked like. Had his hands on him. As you see, again, our referee, Bobby Willis, talking things over with Coach Standard. As you see Conrad Nix right there, we were talking about him. Of course, been around over 20 years, 21 years overall, I believe, at Northside. Has done an excellent job. Of course, has really built this program, as we talked about. 115 wins against 16 losses in 10 years, just remarkable. 97, as we talked about, the last year that Northside didn't win 10 games in a season. And in that year, they were still 9-4. So they've gotten it done. It's just been that state championship that's been so elusive, but they're headed there.
We have pass interference on the defense. That carries an automatic 1st down.
So what a change in field position right there, Corey. Again, all the way down to the north side 47.
Great communication by Dylan Knight to get out of the pile that was coming after him, and then they're going to tack on the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
I was wondering if they were. Yep.
Got a dead ball. Personal foul on the defense.
Credit this officiating crew. They have not let this game get out of hand. They've stayed right there in it.
And all the fans of the Georgia Dome on their feet, Dave. They know this one last drive could be it for St. Pius. Northside trying to get back to the state title game that they were in last year.
1st and 10, Flint in motion. Knight again looking to the air. Rolling, firing, has an incomplete to Gibson. Matt Gibson, number 8, with a reception. Just outside the 25, a pickup of about 6 or 7.
St. Pius doing all the right things here. The receivers are coming back to the quarterback. They know they have to continue this drive, and they're doing the right things to make that happen. And, of course, Knight playing stellar in this last 2 minutes.
And now it's Knight who works out of the shotgun. looking deep down the field and covered up, trying to get it in there to Evan Farrell, but Northside had 2 defenders back there.
Now remember this, it's 3rd and 4. If you don't get the first down, you can kick the field goal and go for the onside kick, and then you still need a touchdown, but you definitely have to have a score.
Sure.
So it is a theory that you can follow.
And certainly an option, especially with a kicker like Chris Philpott.
Exactly.
He has a 28-yarder to his credit here tonight, and can certainly kick one a little bit further than that. But right now, St. Pius hoping for a first down on 3rd and 4. They're going to pitch it. Davis trying to turn the corner, breaks the tackle. He's got the first down inside the 20.
What a game by Davis. Are you kidding me? All those defensive stops, and now he's doing it on the offensive side of the ball. No rest for the weary.
They're blocking in there. Deontay Jordan just a little bit short on the angle right there. McKenzie took him down. But it will be 1st and 10 as St. Pius enters the red zone with 1:23 to go. Time going to start to be a factor right here if they do score. Again, as you mentioned, an onside kick will be forthcoming. But they've still got it outside the 15 right here against the tough Northside defense. And the game right now hinging on every play. There's a little fade pattern.
It's open.
And there. Touchdown, Joey Flint.
Wow.
What a pass, what a catch, and a great adjustment by Flint to the football.
Absolutely. Give credit to Knight and Flint. This entire drive has been picture perfect for St. Pius. Exactly what they needed to do. 1:17 left on the clock. You kick the extra point, and you're down by 3. And, of course, as you said, Dave, an onside kick will be forthcoming.
How big has Flint been in the postseason? That block punt, of course, against Pebblebrook has made some big catches. Has made some big plays defensively, and then on the receiving end of a 16-yard touchdown pass from Dylan Knight on the fade. And now Philpott trying to make it a 3-point game and does so right down the middle. Well, the St. Pius team just won't go away, Corey.
They won't, and there's one thing that's been said by all the coaches that have played against St. Pius, and that is that there is a weapon in their kicker, Philpott. What kind of weapon is he going to have here on the onside kick? If it's perfectly designed, they'll have a chance to tie it or win it. If not, their season could be over.
Perfectly thrown pass right there. Again, it was to the outside shoulder of Flint, who had to make the adjustment, but he did so. Armstrong, again, the safety back there, but never turned around to try to spot the football and didn't have a shot at that one.
And you youngsters out there, if you've ever tried to make an adjustment on a catch when you're out there running a route, it is not easy to do, especially on a long route like that. Well done by St. Pius the entire trip up the field.
And there you get a look at the scoring drive. 9 plays, 82 yards, and just 2:04 off the clock. Again, Flint with that 16-yard TD reception. Corey, this is a St. Pius offense that's known for sustaining long drives and eating up a lot of time. But when they had to have it, they put together a long scoring drive in a short amount of time.
And that's really a statement to the kids. Like we've said, not a lot of Division I stars on the field right now as far as we know. And they got it done because they played together football. The onside kick right here.
And Northside with the hands team. Deontay Jordan right at midfield is in on it as well. You still have 2 timeouts if you're St. Pius. And the ball is going to be fielded by Jordan. It looked like number 4 never got that big hop. And it looks like the Eagles will have possession of it right here with 1:15 to go.
Yep, he just cradled it, came right into his arms. He fell on it. And he could be falling into the state title game. But what a game so far, Dave. This has just been incredible. What a drive by St. Pius. And how many timeouts does St. Pius have left?
2.
Okay. So theoretically, they could get the ball with 8 seconds.
A little time to work with indeed, though. And if Northside is able to get a first down right here, it's all over anyway. But now look at Deontay Jordan is in the game at fullback as Northside goes to the I for the first time tonight. So it's obvious what they're going to do right here is pound it against that St. Pius front. Big play. Green over the right side is hit. Dives off of a tackler and takes it into St. Pius territory at the 48, and the Golden Lions will burn their second timeout. So how about that? Jordan in as a lead blocker for Green.
Vocal leader of the defense comes into the offense and could lead them into the state title game if he can hold on to the ball and this team can get a first down.
Winner moves on to take on the winner of our nightcap. Kicking off at approximately 9 o'clock tonight, featuring East Paulding and Marist. Here's a look at some scores from earlier this afternoon. Of course, in the first matchup of the day, you had two teams from Columbus, and Carver and Shaw. And Shaw, of course, winning a great football game right there by 2 points, 16-14. That, of course, in AAA action. The second AAA semifinal saw Washington County and Peach County. It was Peach who overcame an early deficit to Washington County to win that football game going away. And then, of course, prior to the kickoff of this one, it was all Dublin, 65-7 over Lovett. Again, the Irish jumped off early in that one and never let up. And, of course, later on tonight, Marist and East Paulding. East Paulding may be the story of the weekend. After years and years of struggling, Coach John Reed, in his first year, has these guys inside the Georgia Dome taking on Marist for a chance to play one of these two for a state title. Here's Taiwan Green down to the 42, and it will be a first down. And that ought to do it, even if St. Pius calls a timeout right here. Again, Northside ought to be able to run out the clock.
And it really doesn't surprise you that it's Taiwan Green who gets the first down for this team. He's had the game of his life, 3 touchdowns, must be over 150 yards rushing. He's the one that seals the deal. But congratulations to both teams. I know it's not over, but it's a matter of time right now. 181 yards for Taiwan Green, Dave.
Unbelievable effort. And again, remember, he's just a junior, as are a lot of these playmakers on this Northside team. As we said, they're a year ahead of schedule. This is a team that's certainly going to play in the mix next year, although they've got some unfinished business here in 2006. First and 10, Green left side. It's just a matter of hanging on to the football right now if you're the Eagle offense. St. Pius can only watch right now as the clock continues to roll down under 30 seconds. And that might do it.
St. Pius showed the heart of a lion, Dave.
Absolutely.
And congratulations to Northside. A fine football game.
Clock rolling down here. Again, the Golden Lions certainly have nothing to hang their head about. They have given this Northside Eagle team a football game here tonight. But it will be Northside who will move on to the state championship game, taking on the winner of the East Paulding Marist contest. And Northside with a shot to host that football game as well, depending on how the brackets play out. An unbelievable game here tonight, 20-17, the final. Take your hats off to both sides here tonight. They continue to fight all night long. A lot of great athletes, as we talked about, Corey. No one superstar on either football team. All these guys very complimentary, of course, of their teammates, their offensive lines, and so forth. 2 class acts right there, of course, with Conrad Nix and Paul Standard meeting at midfield there, and you can't say enough about the way this game was played tonight.
Absolutely, a well-played game. Great sportsmanship throughout the contest. One superstar, I have to say today, Taiwan Green. 181 yards, 3 TDs. A great effort by him and a great effort by both teams. Congratulations to Northside.
And how about Jonathan Davis for St. Pius? He gets my game ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. Offensively, defensively, and a well-played game.
2017, the final. We're back with more from the Georgia Dome when we return. Well, they're going to look at the final. Northside 20-17 over St. Pius here, the first of 2 quad-A semifinals on the night. Let's go downstairs. Phil Proctor standing by with a victorious Coach Conrad Nix.
Hey, Coach Nix, you're looking cool, calm, and collected. Tell me about it.
Well, I promise you, inside I'm not real cool, calm, and collected. I just praise God that our guys hung in there. I thank him for all that he's given me as personally, and our young men, I just praise him for that. I'm thankful that we won. You have to give those guys, St. Pius guys, a tremendous amount of credit. They're a great group of guys. They're special. I know that the coach is very, very proud of those guys. I'm just proud that our guys hung in there. It wasn't always pretty, and we fully understand that, but we had enough inside of us to win, and that's what's counting.
You get a shot to go back for that state title. How's it feel?
Well, it feels great right now. We got to rest. You know, we didn't control the game quite as good, so we got to, calm ourselves down and remember that we are a pretty good football team and all, and just get ready to play whoever wins this next encounter.
Well, congratulations to you, Coach. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you to GPTV for covering all this activity, too. It's a great organization. I really, really appreciate it for high school football. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much. You got props from the coach. Back upstairs to you guys.
All right, sounds good, Phil. Again, Coach Nix, again, victorious tonight, will play for the state championship for the second year in a row. We're going to wrap it up here. Of course, more from the Georgia Dome later on tonight. Of course, kickoff of the nightcap between Marist and East Paulding. It's going to wrap things up for Corey Kessler, Phil Proctor. I'm Dave Garner saying so long. More from the Dome later on tonight. Stay with us.
Funding for this broadcast of the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporations, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB.